about humanity. Ya ayuhan nas, inna khalaqnakum min dhakarin wa untha wa ja'alnakum syu'uban wa qabaila lita'arafu. O mankind, we create you from a pair of human beings, Adam and Eve. And we have made you into different nations, different tribes, different languages and different colors. Lita'arafu, so that you shall know and shall learn from each other. Inna akramakum indallahi atqakum, but those who are virtuous in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are those who fear God, Allah. So, the philosophy is we have been created by one creator. From one pair of human beings into different tribes, different nations, different races. But somehow, something went wrong along the way. We learn to despise each other. We learn to degrade each other. And we learn to dishonor each other. And this is a common malaise across the globe. Not only here, not only in ASEAN, not only in Asia, but all across the globe. Well, your mission is to reverse that very corrosive and destructive trend that all the differences among us are being obliterated. This is what Brother Idris called dominance, hegemony, influence, trying to make everyone the same. In fact, I feel ashamed until Brother Idris asked me, what is your Muslim name? Because by going with Surin, it is also a form of domination. But you have to adjust along the way. You have to improvise along the way in order to survive and maintain what is most important and the core of your identity and the center of your existence. So every human being is different from the next. Not only different tribes, not only different nations, not only different races, but every human being is an exception. That sentence is not mine. It's Kierkegaard, a Danish philosopher. Is this domination, Brother Idris, by referring to a philosopher in Denmark? But the point is the wisdom that he shared with us. Every human being is an exception. There's no one human being the same. It is up to you and up to everyone to make sure that that identity, that difference, that uniqueness flourishes into a full form of dignified human being. Of course, you don't have it easy. You can't have it without effort. You won't succeed without obstacles, without challenges. But in this journey of life, you have to learn to negotiate and keep the best of what you have. And that is the purity of humanity in every one of you. The part that is divine in every one of you. The breath of Allah that has breath into every one of us. Now, if we take this philosophy, if we take this approach, then everyone is entitled to his or her own space in life. Freedom, liberty, dignity, conscience. You know what the word conscience means or where it comes from? From two words: co, together; science, knowledge. Co-knowledge. Co-knowledge with whom? It has a religious background, because the word came from medieval Europe. Conscience, co-science. Human recognizes the truth with God Himself. So you have conscience. To keep that conscience, to be distinguished from others, and to keep nurturing it so that it flourishes into a full-grown human person with intelligence, with conscience, with responsibility, and with dignity, is the first responsibility of every human being. My job as Secretary General of ASEAN is to make sure that this organization is leaning toward the people, people-centered, opening up the forums and fora and the meetings and the conferences so that the diverse population of ASEAN will have access to where decisions are being made, where policies are being formulated, where strategies are being designed in order to move these 10 countries together into the future. Of course, I have had problems with governments. Some governments are not very comfortable admitting people into the center of decision making. They said, yes, they value civil society, non-governmental organizations, but they have to be our NGOs, our civil society, registered with us. We support them, we nurture them, we grow them, and they cannot say anything against the establishment, against the authorities, against the government. Well, in the last 5 years, I have been able, I think, to a certain extent, open up ASEAN to become more people-oriented. And I will keep on doing this. Not only 10 countries trying to evolve into a community together, but we have the connections through what we call dialogue partnership with India. 1.1 billion humanity there. Or is it 1.2 already? The growth is so fast. China, 1.3, or is it 1.4 billion humanity. Japan, Korea, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, the US, Russia, the EU, and the United Nations. They are all our dialogue partners. Through them, with them, we want to build a better community for East Asia entire, not just this corner. We are being given a role called the centrality of ASEAN because China cannot be the centrality of East Asia because Japan would not feel comfortable. India would not be in the driver's seat of East Asia because China would not allow that. Australia and New Zealand are a bit further south and pretty much unique and different from the rest of us, could not play the centrality role in East Asia. And each and every one of the big ones that we have dialogue partnership with have historical baggage between and among themselves. So it fell upon ASEAN, a collection of small and medium-sized countries like Malaysia, like Thailand, like Brunei, like Singapore, like Indonesia, if you can call Indonesia small. 10 of us accommodating everyone, threatening none. And I am trying to make sure that we welcome everyone on equal footing, whether you are New Zealand or you are Australia, whether you are the US or you are Canada. And I think what inspires me is the fact that we are all being created by one creator into different tribes and different nations so that you can learn from each other. Lita'arofu. Through this learning process, we learn to establish together a community connected in different dimensions for one purpose: common prosperity and peace, stability, security. Now you can see how a Budak Ponok, Budak Ponok, how a young boy from a madrasah in southern Thailand travel this far. And I hope not without humility, not without a sense of common responsibility, not without optimism, not without confidence. If every one of you, 800, if every one of you from 50 countries, if every one of you from different backgrounds and different religious persuasions could strike out on your own on that path, untrodden, untraveled by any other human being, make it unique for yourself, you will be able to make a difference in the world. So that your lifespan